Here we go. Today we're dividing multiples of 10 and 100. So like I mentioned earlier, when you are looking at a large problem like this, the first number, the number we start with, the biggest number is always called our dividend. Our second number, the number we divide it by, the number of equal groups, is called the divisor. And then our answer is always called the quotient. So today we are going to try to divide mentally. You won't have to draw that bar that you've often seen when you're talking about long division. You won't need to today. How can we divide mentally? This is our question. We have a stack of 1,000 comic books to start out with. And 5 friends want to share that huge stack. So we want to divide that into 5 equal parts. Can we use mental math to find out how many comic books each friend will get? Yes, we can do that. What operation do you think we're going to use to find how many in each group? Aiden? Division. If we're separating into equal groups like I did last week with the M&Ms, I gave each of you this. That's called dividing. So, if we want to take that 1,000 comic books and divide it by 5 equal kids, we can do this mentally, in our heads. In this problem, you should see a basic math fact. Okay? It is 10 divided by 5. You know that already. You know it in your head. When I saw that, I took my fingers and I covered up the 2 extra zeros. Now all I do is I put those 2 zeros into my answer. So you should see a problem here. 10 divided by 5 is 2. If we add a 0, our answer is 20. If we add a third 0, answer is 200. If we add a fourth 0, our answer is 2,000. How does knowing 10 divided by 5 equals 2 help you find the answer? Well, the first thing you have to do is look for your basic math fact. Use any resources around the room to do so. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Then I add in my 2 extra zeros to my answer, and this is my final answer, 200. Each kid would get 200. All right. What basic math fact do you see in that problem? Will?
5 times 9.
Okay, but it's a division problem. So I see where you're going with this, but we want to make this into a basic division problem. Sam?
54 divided by 9.
54 divided by 9 is our basic division problem. Okay? Does anybody know the answer to that? Now, those of you who don't, let me give you a couple ideas on how to solve that. You can either think to yourself, how many groups of 9 are there in 54? Or you can think, what number times 9 gives me 54? Because remember, division and multiplication are just the opposites. Darius, do you know? 6. It is 6. It is 6. So if this is 6, in my answer I have a 6, and how many zeros did I cover up? Cole? 1. Now to check myself, to double check and make sure that I have the right answer, I can do the opposite. 60 times 9 should give me this. Does it? It sure does. Remember, division is just the opposite of multiplication. How many of you feel like you're good at multiplication facts, but you're not quite at division in the same place, that you're not maybe quite as competent? Okay, for those of you who feel that way, the truth is you are. You are at the same place. If you know 9 times 6 is 54, then you know 54 divided by 9 is 6. Let's go to the next problem. What's the basic math fact there? Aiden? 49 divided by 7. And who knows the answer to that? Natasha says 7. She's right. So in your answer is a 7. Now how many zeros did we hide, Aaron? We hid 1 0. To check ourselves, is 70 times 7 equal 490? It sure does. It sure does. So far, so good? What's the basic math fact there? Eileen? 28 divided by 4 is your basic math fact. If you don't know how many 4s are in 28, think to yourself, what number times 4 gives me 28? Fours. Sky? What number times 4 gives you 28? Do you see the 28 on the 4s?
Yeah.
Can you count how many down that is? Joe, point to it for him. Count them. 4 times 1. It's the 7th one. If you count by 4s, it's the 7th one. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Okay? So in your answer, you also have a 7. Now what do I do? Kaden? And how many were there? So our answer is 7,000. Now let's check. 7,000 times 4, is that 28,000? Sure it is. Sure it is. All right, let's try more before you guys try some on your own. Basic math fact. Alan? 48 divided by 6. Look at the 6's, please. Do you see 48?
Yeah.
Okay. What? Oh, gosh, he's fast. Sky says 8. Is that correct? 8 times 6 is 48? Sure it is. So in our answer is 8. But is that it, Kiara? No. What do we need to do next? Put in 3 zeros. I'm going to check without drawing in. Is 8,000 times 6 equal 48,000? We can do that in our heads. Good work, 5th graders. Last one. Sam, what's the basic fact that you see?
36 divided by 6.
36 divided by 6. Which is what, America? It is 6. So in our answer, we have 6. And then what, Kaylin? Pardon? You add a 0. Why only 1 0? Because there was only 1 in the problem. Good work. Are you guys ready to try some of these on your own? All right, I would like you to take out your iPad and just start a blank screen, please. Everybody to write down is this. The first one we're doing together, so you don't need a secret password yet. Find the basic math fact and write it either above or below it. Alan, nope. Today we're not going to do it that way, Alan, because this is called mental math. So we're not going to do the long process of long division. We're going to do it exactly the way we've been doing it for the first examples, okay? All right, Darius, what's the basic math fact? What is 63 divided by 9? 7. That's right. 7 times 9 is 63. So in my answer is a 7. Now what? Eileen? 2 zeros gives you a final answer of 700. Good work. That was quick. These should be quick. You forgot your zeros, Natasha? I want to see your basic math fact too. It's just a good step to always hit. Okay, next one. New screen. I don't have 5s up anywhere in my room, but you should be able to do those in your head. Alexis, what's the basic math fact?
25 times
Say it again.
5 divided by 5.
That's right. Do you know the answer to that one? 25 divided by 5? The basic math fact first. That's where we're going to start. 5. Okay. How many zeros are you going to add in? 4 zeros. And so, you're right. The final answer is 50,000. Wonderful. Okay, I want to see if I'm going to give you a challenge one as you're listening to this, okay? Here we go.
They defeated Marshall in the championship in 2 games. Awesome job, ladies. And seniors, please pick up your homecoming slideshow pictures from Pam in the high school office. And on the menu for today, chicken sandwich, broccoli with cheese.
This looks different. There's not a single digit here. There's a America, you will need to write out the problem. Okay? Dathan, what do you think? What should we do?
16 divided by 4.
Right, you're right. That's our basic math fact. But now we've got a little bit of trouble up here because it's different than all the others we've done. When we do this, this divisor here has to be a single digit, and it's not. What do you think, Sam? But then we're multiplying. If we add up all the zeros, see, we want this, number 40, we want this to be a single digit. So I want to get rid of this. And if I get rid of 1 in my divisor, I have to get rid of 1 in my dividend. So now I have 1,600 divided by 4. So now what would my answer be to this problem? Aiden? 400. See, almost everything we do today is going to have a single digit divisor. But there will be 1 or 2 that are a challenge. And they do something like this. If they do, you have to get rid of it. But you can't just cross it out and be done with it. You have to be fair on both sides. Let's try one more like this. Oops. There you go. First, find your basic math fact. Then make it fair. Natasha, if you don't know, use your math journal or use the strips, okay? Natasha, if you don't know the basic fact, please look for it in the room. Natasha, there are the 4s right there. Dathan, help me out.
Okay.
What's the basic math fact?
It would be 36 divided by 4.
Which is
9.
9. Yeah. So we know somewhere in our answer is a 9. Now what do we do?
You want to make the 40 a single digit, so you cross out the 0. And to make it fair, 3,600, cross out the last 0.
Good job. To make it fair, we have to cross 1 out in both. So how many zeros will go in my answer?
1.
Only 1. 90 times 40 is definitely 3,600 or 3,600. Good job.